What's going on, YouTube? How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing this lovely, what's today? Wednesday. Well, so here's the thing. You know how I'm always talking about how I have a lot going on? Like, I have a lot going on and there's a lot of things happening and I don't have time for shit because there's a lot going on. We all got shit going on, right? Well, I met these two dudes a month ago. And really cool dudes, right? Really, really cool dudes. One of them is actually really, really cool. The other one, yeah. And I only hung out with him a few times, but me and the other dude have been talking, and like talking like text messages. Like, he's a really cool person. We have a lot in common. Unfortunately, trauma bonding, blah 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 blah. Not the best stuff to have in common with each other, but like we had stuff in common, and it was like, oh cool, like yeah, like I have family trauma too. And those two dudes were dating. Long story short, like 2 weeks ago, the dude who I had a lot in common with, that dude hit me up one day and was like, hey, I need to get out of this situation. He texted me frantically at 8 a.m. I ignored the first call because I was like, bitch, it's 8 a.m. He texted me again and I was like, okay, what's up? What's going on? He was like, I need an Uber. I need to get out of this situation, blah, 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 blah. Normally, I wouldn't have any money at all for an Uber, but I was like, okay, I understand. He's told me a little bit about the situation. So, of course, being the nice, friendly person I am, I help him out because, like, bitch, he's in a, like, you don't ask questions if you're a ride or die. You don't ask questions. You don't say what's going on, blah, blah, blah. You send the fucking Uber, right? So like a dumbass, wink, wink. The jury's still out on the dumbass part. I send an Uber. Because let's get one thing straight. I'm a good person, not a nice one. And beyond everything, bitch, I'm not a ride or die bitch. I'm just not. The Uber scoops him up from where he was at. He comes over here and, he's chilling or whatever. We talk about what's going on. It's kind of crazy. He apparently was in this whole Britney Spears situation where, like, his boyfriend was super controlling, taking over his phone, like, putting parental controls over it. All his shit was, like, merged with each other. It was, like, a whole bunch of shit where I'm still questioning whether or not, like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, how did this happen? But it's one of those sneaky-ass things that happen, like, with Britney Spears. Like, they just kind of, like, more and more and more over time and more, like, you're just not thinking about it. And the next thing you know, the person's controlling your life. So next thing I know, the boyfriend who he left is knocking my shit down. Not knocking my shit down, but like texting my shit, talking about, you need to text me and you need to tell what's his face to text me and you need to blah, blah, blah. And number one, if y'all know me needing to do anything, like, you've already lost me right there, bitch. Because number one, your number is not even saved. Number two, my own family texts me things that I need to be doing, but this is my phone, this is my life. That's not the way to get I'm not doing shit at all. So I don't give a fuck. I still don't give a fuck. I'm not paying attention. Next thing I know, he texted me throughout the whole day, like these crazy ass text messages talking about how I need to do something. I open the text messages, my read receipts are on, so I'm like, okay, he sees that I read it. He also is not communicating to me anything that he wants. He's just like sending question marks and like, I'm like, what? Like, you've said to let this person know you want him to text him or text you or call you or whatever. But he can't do that because you've put parental controls on his phone, so he can't use his phone. You know this. That's why you're texting me. Because who in their right mind texts somebody else? Like, if I want to get a hold of Sherry, bitch, I'm not going to have to text Aaron to get a hold of Sherry. I'm going to text Sherry. Long story short, me and him start texting, and I'm just like, stop texting me, harassment, stop texting me. Like, I don't want to block him because he's fucking, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Don't want to block him, so I keep him by, and he's talking about he's going to call the cops or whatever. Then I hear about from my friend who's over here, the one who's in asylum, about all these crazy ass stories about how this person has done this before, called the cops, telling the cops that this person, like my friend, his ex-boyfriend, I guess at the time, is always being held hostage. So I'm like, this isn't the first time this has happened. This isn't the first time you tried to escape. Why is this not the first time? Like, why wasn't this shut down, closed, in the story beforehand? Again, still don't really know that, but that's the jury's, whatever. It's a Britney Spears type of situation. So let me just cut to the crazy shit, because the crazy shit has not started yet. He ended up calling the cops that night. Yeah, he called the cops. The cops showed up, and I was telling the cops, like, I've already filed harassment, because I've already filed a harassment thing against this person, to stop texting me, stop blowing my shit up, stop coming to my fucking doorbell, because, like, this person is fine. Why are you calling the cops? You're making false reports. I have it all in text messages. The cops looking at me like, because it's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. The cops looking at me like, yeah, like, why the fuck? Like, you need to leave, sir. She escorts him off the property. He's screaming, like, incoherently. Very much so, you know, I don't judge anybody, and this is not shade at all, but very much so not okay, very much so not in the right mindset. Like, no shade, no judgment, but like that's what was going on. The Ring camera can prove it. I'm not gonna put that on here. But he leaves. The police officer leaves with him. We're all just like, what the fuck? Like, why? What? You calling the police to tell him that he's over here? We know he's over here, bitch. He does not want to talk to you, and you can't. Regardless, I totally forgot to include this part. Again, this is not to throw shade on anybody or to like, I promise you, it's actually very, very sad, y'all. It's a tiny bit comical just because of the way it went down and if you're removed from the situation. But this shit is like real life stuff. It could happen to me who has bipolar disorder or anybody else because I've connected with these feelings and I've wanted, like, whatever. Point being, I can't believe if he actually believed this or if this was the lie that he told like the police and then he later on was convinced by himself. But because apparently apparently this has all happened before, I told you, and he's told the same lie. But the lie is that he can't believe that this is his boyfriend, like blah blah blah, and he can't believe his boyfriend would say these things. He locked him out. He locks his phone, can't get his phone, so he can't text the outside world or say anything. So it looks like, you know, I'm communicating for him. Lo and behold, bitch, I don't want to. I'm telling him, text him. But I'm saying text your boyfriend. Don't text me, bitch. Don't text me. I don't want to talk to you. Text the person you want to deal with. That's weird. But he does that because he locks him out of his phone to make it look like I'm the only person that can speak for him. Tells the police like, hey, this person's being held hostage or this person's being held against their will. It doesn't sound like anything they would say. It doesn't sound like, it doesn't sound like them, so that they can do a wellness check and go and get him. Now, I'm not really sure how this went down beforehand, but the way I experienced it and the way I experienced it with the cop and with him, like, right there, he seemed like he actually believed it at that point. Like, in our text messages, it seemed like he was just making threats. But by the time that, like, it was all going down and the police officer was clearly like, okay, he's fine. Clearly, like, I'm not a kidnapper. Clearly, like, this person's unhinged. Like, it seemed like the desperation, and I say desperation not with a negative connotation, but the desperation and the yelling and, like, just the... But he was like, but they're on drugs, or they're, we're all on drugs. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But they're on drugs, or, like, that's fabricated. Like, the video I just went to record is fabricated. And, like, no, I promise you, like, come talk. Like, it's all of that stuff. It was like, no, he genuinely wants nothing to do with you. I'm sorry. So I can't, that was the reason why he called the cops. Because that took me a while to narrow down. Like, during all of this, I'm like, why are you calling the cops? I want them to come here. That was my thought process the entire time. Like, why are you calling the cops? But thank you. So yeah, it was it's all fucking fucked up. I don't know. The next day happens. He comes back over here again. Technically, the cop told him that was okay. I don't know why the fuck she told him that when obviously no one here wants to do anything to do with him. He comes over here again, out of the blue, and he's like, tells what's his face, there's an Uber ready for him. We need to go. And I'm just like looking at him like, did you not understand last night that if you come over here, you come on this property, it's trespassing and it's harassment, and this person does not want to talk to you, nor do they have a way to contact you because you are fucking crazy and you're controlling their fucking life with the fucking parental controls on this phone. I'm not joking. That's how he led out with the situation. Then he presents this coat. He's like, well, he needs a coat that does not fit, a coat that's not even his. And it's like, boy, you need to fucking leave the property. And I'm getting ready for work. So again, I'm very nonchalant. I don't give a fuck. Like, it sounds really bad, but honestly, it's so bad that, like, I really didn't even let it bother me. I really did not give a fuck about what was going on. I'm just, like, trying to get to work. Me and said friend who was having asylum leave my house. We leave my house to get into this altercation because boy was waiting outside. I didn't have time to deal with this. I'm not afraid of him, whatever. And he prepares to spray pepper spray on us. Pepper spray! Which, like, he didn't really get me because, I'm walking out with my own black shades, like, kind of like, trench coat, whatever. His ex-boyfriend, they got into it, though. He got fucked. He got sprayed all up in the eyes. I'm not sure what the fuck he was thinking, but my eyes were shielded with the glasses. I went like this. I went like this. And there was a brief moment where I was like, beep. There was a brief moment, y'all. Brief moment. But you know what? Number one, I don't fight. Too pretty for that. Number two, it's really embarrassing. Like, I think fighting is the most embarrassing thing in the world. Like, call the cops. Like, it's never that serious. And, like, I don't even know what's the law on that. Because he pepper sprayed me on the chin. And the next thing you know, the camera shows me beating the fuck out of him. Like, the bipolar rage kind of surged. And I was like, no, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. Just go inside and call the cops. Because you're fine. You're fine. It's not self-defense anymore. Even though I wanted to beat the shit out of him. Just keep composure. We both go back inside. you know, kind of low-key running into the house because we got ambushed by this crazy-ass person, but also, like, low-key kind of not running and getting ambushed because it was a delay. I don't know. I was fine. My friend, not so fine. And all meanwhile, he's yelling and, like, saying how I stole his boyfriend and how, like, he just can't believe this is, like, happening to him. And he's crying. And again, completely, this is no shade, no disrespect, 100%, because I've never been there, but mental illness, y'all. He clearly is not in his right mind. Like, clearly not in his right mind. He's yelling because it's like, we've told you, y'all hear the story so far, right? So he's screaming, yelling, how could you do this? Take me back, blah, blah, blah. You're with him now. This is your new boyfriend. And meanwhile, I have, who said I was the new boyfriend? What are you talking about? Why is it all of a sudden that Jules stole the man and that your man is here and that's what Jules did? Like, number one, your man, it's a whole other story. But I got pepper sprayed, y'all. And I had to file a police report. There was trespassing, there was harassment, there was a lot of shit going on. And that was just Tuesday of last week. All of this also caused me to then miss my court date, which is now my second failure to appear. Now I owe the fucking court like $1,200. Otherwise they're gonna issue a fucking warrant for my arrest in like 30 days. So like that was my Tuesday last week. So when I say I have a lot going on, I have a lot going on. Oh, and then on top of that, I got this really, really bad stomach bug where, like, I could not leave the toilet. I had to sleep in the fucking bathroom. I had to sleep in the bathroom. There was nothing coming out of my ass but, like, clear shit. Maybe that's TMI, but I didn't know that could happen. That was this weekend. And now it's fucking cold as shit outside. Cold warnings, fucking snow in Georgia. Shit shuts down. I'm waking up. I have some money, but, like, things are just all awry. I'm all fucked up. And I also have a new, like, the guy, my friend who was seeking asylum, he's great and all. But technically, you know, he's with me. So that's just a new challenge. It's not really a challenge. It's actually kind of, he's been helping me a lot. So that's great. But at the same time, it's just a lot going on and I don't do well with change. So, like I said, it's a lot, but it's not a lot. That was Tuesday. That was last week, y'all. That was last week. And I'm sitting here just like, you know, they say that you attract things, right? And that I should stop. Like, all my friends and people in my life would say, like, why are you doing this? Why are you going through this? Why did you let him come here? Blah, 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 blah. All these different things. And it's kind of weird because I think that's very weird energy. Maybe it's not weird energy to y'all. I definitely believe in boundaries, but I also believe in, at least, like, the way I was raised.
Now connected to iPhone.
Bitch, how? The way I was raised, the way my parents raised me, regardless if they would agree with my decisions here or not, was that if you have a friend, regardless, and I say friend, you know, I did just meet these people like 4 weeks ago. So I use friend as in like, you know, I don't have many of those. And while theoretically this person could be, you know, a serial killer person, blah, 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 you kind of know, you kind of don't know. And I took a leap of faith that this person was the kind of don't know. Everyone so far has been like, he's pretty cool and pretty chill. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like people actually in my life who actually know me and know about blah, blah, blah. They're like, huh, he seems very good for you, blah, 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 blah. Very good for you around. I didn't steal anyone's man. And you can't even steal someone's man, bitch. No one can steal someone's man when their man, like, if your man's stealable, they're not your man. Point being, I was raised that, you know, we should do the right thing. And in the right thing, my friend said he was in a toxic situation. I could help him by giving him an Uber. And I did so. Now, did that open the floodgates to a whole bunch of other things? Yes. But I feel like, you know, we're not necessarily the things that we attract. This whole idea that, like, yes, I think that your friends, the people you surround yourself with, are who you are and who you end up being. But in my mind, the people who I surround myself with aren't the ones with, like, fancy jobs, fancy this, have perfect records, have perfect that, perfect this. That is all fake bullshit. Sorry to my friends who have that. It's not fake bullshit, but it's like, it's not real. The people who I surround myself with, I want to be surrounded by with people who care about others, who, you know, don't judge others, who, you know, do the right thing, who don't lie, who don't steal, who don't cheat, who are good people. And I think that regardless of what they have in their circumstances and in their situations and the things that they may bring or not bring on them, because honestly, I told my friend this. I told him, like, I promise, because he kept on apologizing. He was like, I don't want to bring this here, blah, 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 blah. He was very adamant about, like, not bringing this shit here. And I said, bring the smoke. Because if y'all have been following me, y'all see the fucking shit that's been going on with me for the past 2 years. And you're probably like, well, you don't need any more of that. And I'm like, honestly, if it's helping somebody else out and I can help them And it's really not that, like, at the end of the day, I got pepper sprayed to the chin and I had to file a police report. And now I have some crazy guy out there who I'm not afraid of. Like, I'm not like hiding in my house or I'm not hiding in my house. I'm not afraid. I'm not also looking for a fight. I'm not thinking about him at all, honestly. Like, he's not in my mind. Point being is that, like, it really wasn't that big of a deal except for the court shit that I did miss, which I'm trying to smooth over. It wasn't that big. It sounds big. It sounds like a lot. But, like, with my life, no, it's not. It was a very small $25, $30 Uber, whatever it was. And now someone's not in a Britney Spears situation. If this backfires on me later, it backfires on me later. But I made a decision based off me being a good person at the time. And I don't know why I feel the need to have to explain myself to YouTube on this. I've heard this over and over again. Choose better company and people you're with. Surround yourself with people like who want the same things as you, the same values as you, the same blah, 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 blah as you. And for whatever reason, they think that I definitely believe in boundaries. This is true to an extent. For some reason, though, they think that some of my friends who have been there more so than my other friends have been there for me, like my friends with issues, essentially. Just say issues. When I say issues, I mean less than a stellar record. Some of them may have been in prison, not for raping or for killing anybody, but for like drug charges. Some of them may have, had addiction problems. Some of them may have been illness problems. Some of them may have been unhoused, blah, 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 blah. I promise y'all this is the last little insert here, but I did want to say, when I say about some of my friends, it's funny how like people in my life, especially my friends in my life, how a lot of my together friends act as though, they have it all together, Like, we all haven't been struggling with mental illness. We all haven't had our shared problems with addiction. We all haven't had our shared problems with job loss. We haven't had our shared problems with, like, bitch, I have a lot of friends. No, this is no shade on anybody. I have friends who have been arrested for drug crimes. Not arrested for drug. They were arrested for drugs. And they were, like, bitch, if we wrote down on our pieces of paper, I can't say this because it's really not my business to tell, but I have people in my family who have done shit. People who look really good on paper are really good to the public and not so great on fucking paper, bitch. Like, if we had really put down all of our skeletons in our closet and we wrote it all down on pieces of paper, the people who, like, I'm not saying, like, I'm not afraid to say I associate with them, or I'm not afraid to say that because these are I say friends again loosely. Some people I've just met, some people I haven't met, but I've made some really good fucking friends that my parents or people in my, like, together life would be like, why do you hang out with those people? Like, I had a friend the other day. He didn't say it in a bad way, but he was like talking about homeless people. And I was like, be careful there. Don't use that word. I don't think we should talk about like homeless people in this way because I have a lot of friends who are homeless. He's like, you have a lot of friends who are homeless. Like, who? And I was just like, show so much, like listing off the people. And I think I had said something about me helping homeless people. And it was just like, I didn't want to phrase it that way because I felt so fucking like fucked up to phrase it. I'm helping homeless people. Like, no, I'm helping my friends out who don't have places to live right now. Like, bitch, can we all stop acting like we're all so high and mighty? Like, we're all one crash out away from jail. We're all one fucking debit card, blah, 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 away from not making it. We're all out here fucking trying to make it. And if you have it all together, good for you. But like, I don't believe it. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not a saint. No one's a saint. And I'm starting to call people out on their bullshit. These friends who, bitch, like, if we're looking at the fucking record, my record, I have multiple court cases. I have had conflicts with the law recently, multiple times. That's why I've been having, like, I'm in debt up to my knees. I'm a hill of debt. I moved several times last year. If I didn't have my dad's place, I probably would have been unhoused myself. I don't have my corporate job. Like, if you put on paper what I have going on and what they have, the only difference is that, like, maybe the education part, which is not what makes us good people. We're not that different. And I just feel like I'm tired of people acting like, there are some differences, some very clear differences. And that's when those boundaries are put into place. Like, for example, the addiction piece. I've struggled with addiction. Now, am I like putting my house over drugs? Never. But I don't judge those people. Am I spraying people with fucking pepper spray on their doorstep after I've been asked to leave and I'm clearly being harassing and sending these crazy ass bullshit text messages and calling the police? No. But I've definitely wanted to, and I've definitely thought about it. I'm not even joking. There's no shade at all. During my breakup in 2020, y'all, I was so heartbroken. If I had seen the man that he loved, I'm the bipolar rage in me. I understood that anguish and that pain and that like codependency. I promise you I did. And that's a whole nother video. And I just feel like I'm tired of people acting as though like we're so far off and we're so far removed from all these things. I don't know. I just had to get on here and say that's my little spiel. My life hasn't changed that dramatically. If anything, I have somebody here helping me, because God knows that like my friends, no offense to my friends and family, I'm not saying that y'all don't know what's going on. I know that y'all are very supportive. Y'all are great. But for example, I have my aunt over here texting me about a family member who I do need to contact her. I do need to reach out. She got sick. And I do need to reach out about that. But she's contacting me about that family member as though I need to reach out to the rest of the family members to do, like, I need to reach out and do these things. And I'm like, I also have a relationship with this family member. Did you ever consider that? I also have issues with people passing away. Did you consider that? I also have my own relationship. Maybe ask me how I'm doing as well. My grandfather also passed away. Your father passed away, but my grandfather also passed away. And it feels like this very much taking. I just want someone to check up on me. So while the people in my life, well, I'm not saying that they don't know what's going on, because I talk about it, but I don't talk about it as bluntly as I just talked about it. Point being is that I'm trying, like when I say I got shit going on, bitch, I got shit going on. All these other things going on. I'm trying to make this career work. I just got booked for like this fucking movie that we're doing down in next month. Every single day. I'll be down in Fayetteville, Georgia. I have to figure out a way to get down there. That's a good thing in my life, actually. It's a consistent pay. But I need to figure out how to get that consistent pay so I can figure out how to live. Like, there's shit fucking going on. And I have mental illness. And like, am I okay? That's all I want to know. And I'm trying to surround myself with good people. And, it's just a lot. But, other than that, I'm doing great, you guys. Like I told you, I got booked for this movie. I filed that police report to that person. That person has not hit me up since, I told him I was going to do all that. He did make this weird ass, like, fucking YouTube video, which again, no shade. No, like, I'm not even going to, like, link the views. I'm not even going to link the YouTube video because he was talking shit in it. And he even added me. So if you want to find it that way, I guess you can. But he added me in the YouTube video and it just looks a mess. It's so much a mess that I can't even comment on it because it's like, I have the text messages you sent. I have the ring light footage that you sent. And also, I'm not doing this whole arguing on the internet thing. I can also relate to where you've been at. Now that I put it on the internet. I mean, like, if y'all go back to my dating with mental illness videos, you can see me fucking sobbing on here. Like, embarrassing, kind of really embarrassing. I really should. No, I'm not going to delete those. Those are good. But I'm not shading. Not shading anybody. Because how we heal is how we heal. But I definitely wouldn't have put that on the internet. Especially, like, if I wanted to be a shady ass bitch, because my roommate upstairs, he was laughing his ass off at the conversation that happened outside when we got pepper sprayed. He thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. And I probably would too have thought it was hilarious if I wasn't in the middle of it or if I couldn't relate to the person. But like someone coming to your place when both people don't want to talk to you and you sobbing, crying, throwing, like, while like clearly out of your right mind, it sounds fucking insane. And it's not funny. Like, where was I going with this? That was kind of talking shit. Okay, I had to get my little lick in. But no, honestly, point being is that things are actually, shaping up. I was sick as fuck. I said that. I'm coming out of the holidays hypomanic. I'm trying to get my life together. I had some money, trying to get that kind of squared away and fixed because I got a lot of shit happened. Like, I'm just trying to, like, again, why?
Now connected to iPhone.
I'm trying to get my shit together because we're now actually out the holidays. So it's kind of not an excuse to say, like, well, bitch, the holidays ended like 3 weeks ago. I'm now actually out the holidays. I'm trying to prepare myself for this new year, trying to flourish by still remaining a good person and not saying fuck it to everybody else. Sometimes that's what you need to do, but remain my boundaries. I've kept boundaries, and this has not been a big boundary that that's honestly, it was not the big thing honestly, let's back up. Because if y'all are saying that I kind of lied in this video, I lied to y'all. I literally just lied to y'all. I didn't miss that court date because of the court date I missed. Let's just say I missed it because of something else. It's kind of all fuzzy in my mind. I just know that there was somebody I had to file a assault thing against, and I was fearful for my life for leaving the apartment. So, it wasn't because of my own negligence. Anyway, so outside of anything else that's happening, and I'm so eccentric right now because I'm nervous as fuck for saying all of this so bluntly. I'm normally always saying things on here bluntly, but it's typically after the fact and it's not so fresh. / nobody knows what went down. Like, I feel like this is something like, how do you tell? I can't tell my father this. He would start cussing and be like, what the fuck? It would just be, it would be a lot. I feel like everyone would be more concerned than they genuinely should be, because this person is not a threat. I'm fine. I'm not worried about anything at all. Unless y'all got $1,200. I'm kind of worried about that. Oh, and then like, if y'all have something for like stomach issues and home remedies, and if y'all want to send me a plane ticket to Miami, because it's cold as shit in Georgia. It's like 30 degrees, which is not normal. It was 60 degrees 2 days ago. All right, this is part 1 of this video. I did do a part 2 because I do want to get more into about like the mental illness aspect of this person who fucking attacked me, because it's no joke and no shade at all. Again, no joke, no shade, and I can relate to a lot of things that I was seeing him exhibit, and it's actually just like, what do you do when people with mental illness, like, they're not the ones. People with mental illness aren't prone. I think the science has gotten out on this. We're not prone to attacking people, pepper spraying people, acting a crazy batshit mess. But what happens when we do? Is that the conversation we want to have yet? I don't know. All right, peace out, y'all. Because let's get one thing straight. I'm a good person, not a nice one. And beyond everything, bitch, I'm not a ride or die bitch. I'm just not.